strip, well, good luck to them because that strip is going to be crowded up. Here we go into Bermuda.
What is this flight path, man?
It's skewered all the way over to
We're gonna have
the north side, and look at that, the blue zone over on the Cape Town. And I'm not even certain that if anyone's gonna be able to reach that corner.
I have not seen this flight path
ever, right?
Ever. not as long as I've casted Free Fire. In the leagues to the World Series, I've never seen this flight path. It's gonna be problems for a lot of teams to look at the congestion that we have on the western side of the map. Axis has already found one. That's KOG. That's Knight gone. Seems like they might be looking for more Axis. Oh, they are in for this one.
Oh my word, just look at Rav. He just does not stop, and he's just basically doing it all alone without the help of the rest of his teammates. And Zadi does pick up too fast. Expand kind of spread out for the time being, while Zadi does lose basic. So all these early skirmishes, they still afford to basically go in for these exchanges so long as they find themselves a station nearby. It should be good to go. But for most part, I mean, you said it perfectly from the start, right? Like, with this flight path, it forces flights to happen, and we're just seeing names appear on the screen. Shahid gets to pick up against Farang too.
And Dewa and Heavy have been able to separate themselves from the pack, so that is good news. But it's bad news for Anxiety, at least for Hawkeye. VGM hunting him down. And he has nowhere to go. In fact, Binsu will do the job. One time gets the finishing blow. Hawkeye goes down. VGM finds the second point.
VGM gathering whatever resources that they can, and these 2 points still will be pretty important to widen up the gap that they've had against FR. Ooh, mushrooms found by Sem9 just to add a little bit more flavor to his cuisine. But Zadi still trying to at least create a perfect storm of situation for them. While Axis Esports, they've had a lot of splendid rounds to work with earlier today. But we had this conversation off air, like, is it 2 little rounds we're going to work with in order to make the cut? It seems very likely to be the case. Whereas for Devil United, they got some rounds, but it's starting to dwindle down, and they're not really in a good shape, especially after losing the past round.
Yeah, Devil United are quite far away from even having a chance. Sem9 very much separated from one another. Expand able to bring too fast back. First Raiders, they were at Catalyst a while, but they decided to go southwards, putting them in close proximity with VGM and MDH, 2 of the teams that they want, out of their way early on.
Blood.
Bossy actually got one of the members. That one was from Anxiety, so a point for him. But Heavy, they are not backing down from this one. It's not like they have a choice. Trying to keep Deva away so that they can fully capture the revival point, which will come true. Tom XT will be brought back.
And just look at how spread out the rest of Heavy is. I don't think they have just about what it takes to get rid of Dewa from this section of the city. And therefore, on the other side, we see them adding one more pointer right there, as that will tell it up against V Gaming overall. Heavy still keeping their tabs really closely. He does get that perfect bird's eye vision on all 4 of the members. So he has a little bit more of an idea of the whereabouts. It's all about plotting the execution though. Whereas Devil United members, they're running around the city. They're about to run into 2 of the members of Heavy as well. So it might not be the best of news. Meanwhile, Expand, they're just right next to FRN. This is going to be a good zoning potential, especially with the danger zone popping right on top of Expand.
Yeah, First Raiders able to completely chase MDH away to get themselves 3 kills so far. Dewa United continues to try and pressure the members of Heavy without getting naded. That is an easy kill for Dewa. It's not like Heavy have any intention to kind of commit fully to this, but with Wudai going down, Heavy has to make a call right now. Do they want to back off? Do they want to stay? They might have to leave one guy behind.
Yeah, these 2 teams having the idea of getting into the blue zone to get those high-tier loots, and as much as they did, well, of course, one of them has to be on that losing end. Heavy now, just needing to get out of the way Same goes to MDH. They just left the grasp of Team Flash, thankfully enough, because they've already been depleted. They don't really have the right weaponry to deal with them as well. Look at SMGs as well, shotguns. Only effective on around close range. But they'll be just luring around Pacino for the time being. Well, let's see what they can stock up this time. They do get Happy as well as Nuke back up online.
MDH continues to run. BGM so far also not doing too bad. They are picking off stragglers across the map as well. Heavy doing the same, bringing back Fudai. So we are kind of almost back to square one. The only 3 players that really got taken out were from Anxiety. Showmike couldn't find any revival point, but for everyone else, this is kind of a reset button for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take a while. I mean, there's plenty of time to go before we get more battles into the middle. And over on the Bimasakti strip, though, with Kyle already locking on target. This UAV zone just absolutely shows where Axis is currently at. So FR, they do have a little bit more of a leverage here just to basically cut off this entry point, but Axis does not care. They just brute force their way. They try to secure a little bit more ground, and KOG butts in. Flash will have one member down. The exchange will go through from a different point of perspective. And Flash seemingly to come up ahead.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, Flash, they were able to pick on the members of KOG, but for First Raiders, they are trying to slowly peel away from Axis. But Axis, they are hot on the trail. Kind of smell the scent. I think First Raiders have put themselves in a decent position. Now they can properly set up their defense to confront Axis. This is going to be a very important one, especially if your First Raiders Axis trying to go in for the push. The glue wall, put up Lozzy, making first contact. They're trying to block off all the windows, but Lozzy, he might be left behind. Axis really trying to brute force their way through this defense. Shahid is gonna make contact. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Neptune coming in to provide a bit of backup. Those glue walls are getting erected left, right, and center. Raph dropping low, but not dead just yet. Neptune getting gunned down by Ika, but Flame immediately traces it back. It's now down to Souza, and this is crunch time for First Raiders. They need to stay alive. Souza swings the corner, gets wrapped down, and Souza might just save his team. Inhaler up, Souza turns the corner. Not enough just yet. He needs a bit more damage. Looking for Flame. Souza saves his team. 7 points, and Souza keeps First Raiders in the game.
Unbelievable work coming in from Souza. He eliminates everybody out of Axis Esports just to keep his hopes alive. And boy, oh boy, we have ourselves a race for the finish line. Heavy now putting in work against KOG. They were attacked by Team Flash initially, and MDH, they're also trolling onto them. So KOG members, they're just swarming them around this house as the Wolves are basically finding all kinds of angles to approach this from. But Tom, he will bring one down before he bows out.
And Heavy, again, just another round where they could not get their feet off the ground. The revives do come true, but this staggering effect is going to keep trickling you know, into the rest of the round. Heavy just kept reviving, just revives after revives. It feels like you're coming back to life just to die again. Just could not get enough resources. But First Raiders, they only have 2 men. They actually brought Ika and Lozzy back alive, so this is a huge reset. And Souza puts in the 5th knockdown, this time on the Sem9. And First Raiders, you know that they're feeling really good about themselves. All these big plays that I don't think I've ever seen up to this point, up to yesterday.
Exactly. And the very first booyah that we've seen coming from FR for the day when we go into our round inside Purgatory, he was the one leading the way, opening up so many opportunities for the team. And he does it again, this time by clutching those fights instead of just being a sentinel on top of the top end of the rooftops. And currently, they're the one who dictates who actually gets to play around this area of Bimasakti instead. VGM, they are approaching pretty closely as well. This is one target that FR really wants to eliminate.
And so Sem9 were not able to catch up to them because they stalled Sem9. VGM is towards the southern side, very spread out. And First Raiders find themselves in the center of the circle again. We'll see if that is going to remain It certainly does. They are still within the safe confines of the circle. And VGM doesn't feel like too big of a threat right now.
Exactly the case. Meanwhile, there are a little bit more pressure now on the shoulders of Team Flash, who are currently sitting around the corner, checking onto all these compounds, hoping to find a connection against MDH, but they will quickly shut off Happy. And that's a triple already coming from KOG from another fight that we have on another angle. MDH, they have one member plan over top Nuke, hoping to deal some damage, but he doesn't really get the angles right as they cut across all these walls. So Clock Tower is not really the place that they will settle the scores just yet, but both teams needing to leave the facility, and whoever gets out first might just get clipped.
Dangerous times for MDH. Bloody just pushing in, Don't Cry actually getting that knock instead. But Nuke and DNP were caught out, MDH instantly wiped out the face of Bermuda. Team Flash didn't lose anyone, and with MDH out, this is even worse news for the team. VGM remains, but VGM doesn't have much left. I believe they have full squad, but maybe not decked out in the way that they want to. Tom XT getting found by Dewa. Heavy continues to struggle in the round 4.
Yeah, Dewa just relying on to Rentier to be able to put more numbers back. Now, they've been spotted out already. Expand just tagging them as they try to run their way into the Bimusakti strip. It's still a long journey for the rest of Dewa United, while Farang also joining into the party as well. Expand, hoping to secure the high heels as they are gatekeeping the rest of the teams from coming right in. But they say, okay, that's just about enough. We will be able to at least cover a little bit more grounds for ourselves to fight our way into the deeper end of Bimusakti. Now, speaking of the deeper end of Bimusakti, KOG finally arrives to the section with only 3 members on their side. Kevin now getting tagged from the back as well. At the same time, Sem9, Tigers on the heels. Though they might not have much cover around them, they've been able to spot out Farang, and boy oh boy, V Gaming finally gets the game that they've desired, and now it's all the pressure on their shoulders to defend for dear life while everyone else has to battle their way into the south.
This is the true test of First Raiders. Can they break away from this deadlock? It's a 4-team affair, by the way, with Sem9 closing in from behind as well. Gotta keep an eye on Farang though. They are gonna rush into the hive of KOG, getting a knockdown. Too bad, leading the charge. Needs to find a gap, couldn't find it, but gets a knockdown. Traded back. Osaka just gives us life away. And Farang able to wipe out KOG with minimal casualties, in fact. But First Raiders still kind of under the microscope as they have been in the way of Sem9. They've already lost 2 members so far. Spade finding Souza. That is bad news for First Raiders.
Yeah, and remember that Flash, they won that fight inside of Clock Tower. Now they get a little bit more of the safety ground control, so they will be the one that will be able to challenge V Gaming. Meanwhile, Sem9, they're only surviving by the glue walls that they've erected in the middle of nowhere, and air was just blasting them. Somehow they survived though. How on earth could they basically hold on? Expand, still trying to break through the 5th walls, and I'm not too certain if they'll be able to get much, but Sem9, very climb down over onto lower end, and this fight is not just over and done with. Still one member of Sem9 remains, trying to get the revives up. V Gaming, they're just getting all these kills in their favor as they pummel down onto Sem9.
This is going to be a huge run for V Gaming, just like you said, but at the same time, I think First Raiders somehow managed to make it into the circle just for a bit longer. Eco needs to stay alive. He has it. Vico. Jinbao takes his eyes off of First Raiders, but it doesn't matter. First Raiders goes out. Sem9 follows as well. V Gaming still staying in this game. Top 6 still within their grasp. Expand also down to 2 members. It's Too Fast and Shah. They're trying to find their way into kind of the heart of this compound. You have VGM basically just waiting for the final phase. Dewa United gets knocked out by Farang. A team with the entire squad alive. Too Fast gets spotted out. Jinbao should be able to lead Farang into the last phase of this round.
Wow. It was just absolute fury coming out of Farang, and you can see they are absolutely on fire right now. Being the key leaders of Pack, BGM They've locked on target, and they know there's only one direction that Farang could basically run. So they just got every single angle just pointing up towards the kill, and Farang just forced to yield off. Time turner being popped. More walls being popped up as well. Bond on the closest tree. Not that they're even looking. That grenade should be doing the trick. Now that only leaves a few more members out of Flash to be able to contest B-Gaming.
And VGM, a guaranteed second place for them, at least for now, unless they can somehow win a 2 versus 4. But with all these grenade showers, it seems to be a distant dream for VGM to get the booyah at least. Bantan, last man alive, 4 members of Team Flash running at his face. Team Flash gets the booyah, but VGM finds a lifeline in this round.
They do get a lifeline, and it's been a long time coming for Team Flash. And finally, they reap the rewards here, securing their own booyah here in Bermuda. And it's the first big win for them for today. First, all the Vietnamese fans should be absolutely happy with their performance for now, as they have been